Hello, welcome to the next episode of the Smoke Me Out podcast. I'm your guest, Hunter Smith, and today I am joined by Miss Tammie Lyons-Price. She is the owner of her own small business. It is RLP Holistic Wellness. So welcome to the podcast.
Hey, I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. Tammie is one of our longtime customers. She always has a smile when she comes in. Even if you didn't have your own business and weren't so interesting, I think I'd still want to have you on. You always brighten our day.
Oh, well, I love coming in here. Everybody's so kind. And, when you're someone that moved here after not being here for so long, and you come into a place and people are just like, hey, how's it going? How are you? It's nice.
That's that simple pleasures difference right there.
Dude,
Definitely
right?
glad to hear that. So can you tell me a little bit about your journey into holistic healing and, what inspired you to start your company?
Well, December 15th of 2015, I checked myself into a holistic rehab.
Oh, okay.
I was coming off of a 18-year addiction, and, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
And I found a rehab facility through the business that I worked for, and they were like, well, this is what we are. We're holistic rehab. And so I went there, and it was just amazing. It changed my life. I learned about yoga, about meditation, about breathwork, about self-forgiveness. And the day that changed my life, when I met this guy named Dwayne, Yoga Man Dwayne, he'll forever be in my life. Oh. And he said, to love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. Oscar Wilde.
Oh, that's pretty strong. I like that a lot.
My mind was blown. And so forever, my goal is to be better than who I was. So I use meditation and breath work and different holistic practices.
So were you skeptical at all when you first, got tired of getting tired and you decided to make a change in your life? What made you decide to take this route versus, alternative or like the everyday run-of-the-mill rehabs that everyone might be a little bit more used to?
Well, luckily for me, the job that I had, so in my addiction, I just would go on like long spouts and be gone for a long time. But I called my boss and he's like, oh, call EAP and they'll help you. And so I did, and they gave me a list of rehabs, and I was just like, I'm going to pick the first one on the list.
Right.
And it was called River Source. And I was like, oh, well, that sounds cool. So I picked it. I called them. And the guy's like, okay, let me call you back. And then he called me back and he's like, oh, it's going to be this much. And I'm like, dude, there's no way.
Right, yeah.
And he goes, but your insurance is going to pay for it all.
Oh, that's
so.
Good, yeah. Were you relieved, or were you getting a little nervous, like, oh, this might be real, Because I'm sure you knew that it wasn't going to be an easy road trying to get clean and find sobriety.
No, and, I was right there in that space. Like, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know how it's going to work. But I was in that space of where I was truly desperate. I was really tired. It wasn't a simple addiction. It was, it was a hardcore addiction for me. And, I feel blessed. Like, I feel lucky. I'm so grateful that River Source came into my life, and they just were so open. And I wasn't feeling the yoga aspect of it, though, at first. And so I stuck with the breath work and the meditation.
That's awesome, and it really inspires you, I can see, because you're very passionate about it, and I just think that's amazing. I wish more people were more passionate about their crafts like you are.
I'm the crazy meditation lady.
For those who might not be familiar with transformation meditation, how does that differ from regular meditation, and can you elaborate on what it is exactly?
I'm so happy that you asked. Meditation, there are so many different forms of meditation. And I actually use transformation coaching in my meditations.
Okay.
So there's the Zen meditation, there is transcendental meditation, and those are like two that are silent. One of them is completely silent, and there's nothing. Then you have the Zen, which is counting your breath or even saying mantras.
Right.
And that's just really kind of that bringing in that inner focus. But with the breath work, how I added in with the transformation is breath work, one thing first. So breath work itself can help you with releasing not only tension, relaxing, it helps with you, even your immune system and digestive system.
Oh, wow.
But it also helps you release trauma. So a lot of my clients are people that deal with trauma and stress and anxiety and depression. And what we do is we step into a place where we identify their limiting beliefs.
Okay.
And once we identify the limiting beliefs that they're having, then I go into a breathwork meditation. And that's where the transformation comes in.
Okay. Nice. I had no idea that it worked that way. I was very interested, and I knew you'd have the answers, but a little bit different from what I thought. That's beautiful. What are some of the benefits that people might receive by incorporating breathwork into their everyday lives and routines?
Oh my gosh, they'll feel fucking better.
Hell yeah. I can believe it.
They'll feel better. There is something about being grounded that makes your life just kind of go with flow. Now, don't get me wrong. Life is life.
Right.
And life is going to life you. But it's your reaction to the way that life is lifing. And people are people. And people are like, I'm a people, you're a people. People are just going to be who they are. So when you're adding meditation and you're adding affirmations into your life, it starts your day off right. I have a program that is our 21-day meditation. It's mindfulness. I have two different goes. So there's like mindfulness, and then there's one that is the taking care of self.
Oh, nice.
And it's 5 minutes a day. All you do, 5 minutes a day of meditation, and really step into a place of inner peace. That's really, I can't even, to be open, I feel like I can't even explain it. There's something about meditation. I wake up early in the morning. Like I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Everybody in my house is sleeping. I sneak downstairs and I sit on my couch and meditate for 2 hours.
Oh, nice.
And
That's
it
a
is
long
the
session.
Dude, but it took me like 3 years to get past 5 minutes.
Did it? Yeah. Just wanted to get out and start moving again. But I'm sure once you find that calm space, that that could also become like not addictive is the word I want to do, but you could benefit a lot from it. That you always like make that a part of your routine. Not many people will wake up at 4 a.m. for anything. So the fact that you'll wake up and meditate, that's got to speak some volumes to how effective it could be.
Oh, dude. And like addictive is like a really good word for it, because
Right.
like you just want it. Like I wake up wanting to go and have that slow morning with myself. Like that's the way my body automatically is just like, that's what I crave. I love the morning silence.
That is awesome. Can you walk me through what a typical session with you would look like? What could your clients expect, whether they're showing up to meditate, do yoga, or breath work?
Oh, dude, I love that. So when we get started, now when it's in a big group session, what I do is I just start talking and like let people get comfortable. I will do small group, I'll do one-on-one, or I'll even do in a larger group. I also practice Kundalini Reiki. I became a certified Kundalini Reiki master teacher.
Kundalini Reiki.
Yes, energy healing.
What a word. I like that.
Right?
Is that what it means, is energy healing?
Well, Reiki is energy healing. Rei is the universal, and then Ki is energy.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's beautiful. I just learned that for sure.
And there's the Asui Reiki as well, which is your Asui Reiki is more the traditional. That's how I kind of look at it, more as like the traditional. And then there's so many forms of Reiki. There's like crystal Reiki. So you can use crystals in your energy healing. There's Kundalini, and Kundalini is like divine femme earth energy. Oh, and nice. It's pretty cool. But like, sorry, I get off track because I love all the different holistic practices. But when you come to a session with me, I first start out with, hey, how about you get to know me? How about I get to know you? Because one thing is, it is not going to be a good time if you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So I start out, I introduce myself. I give people the opportunity to introduce themselves. What do you want to achieve? Because when I do a session, especially a larger group session, what I'm trying to do is build a community. So I want people to be able to be like, hey, that's so and so. We went, we had meditation together. It was cool. I've had virtual sessions where people have become the best of friends. And they've gone out to visit each other in other states. I had a chick come from California that came here to visit me and my family.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because she enjoyed it. So we get started with that. People introduce themselves, then we get comfortable. I always start my sessions with 3 deep breaths. Now you can choose to be seated, so with the cross-leg position, seated, or you can choose to lay down. Now, if I'm doing a really deep release and restore type session, I recommend for people to lay down. Yeah. Because sometimes some of the breath techniques, especially like the Wim Hof breath technique, it can cause you to like pass out for a second.
Oh, man. You don't want that.
No, we do not want that. So I always try to tell people, make sure before you sign up for a class, you talk to your doctor, and make sure that you take it easy. It's about helping, not harming.
Okay, nice.
So, and then we get into the music. I have a playlist that I'll play, or I'll do a sound bath and play on my steel tongue drum. And then after, I leave about 10, 15 minutes after. It normally runs, it can run about 30, 45 minutes, depending on how people react. Like some people, they'll feel the numbness in their fingers or the tingling in the body. I advise people, like, if you feel tension, you can like shake it out, breathe into it to help release that tension, because our trauma stores itself in our body.
Oh, wow.
So,
that makes sense. That wow.
It's
really
crazy.
Opening my eyes up here.
Dude, it's crazy.
I was excited to have you on because, it's holistic healing is definitely gaining a lot more notoriety and popularity, especially in today's social media age. So you see it all the time. Everybody's going to be a little skeptical, myself included. I'm skeptical of most things, as you should when it comes to doing something with your body. It's good to, make sure that you can take a class setting or do a one-on-one. Someone might try to do this at home from watching a bunch of YouTube videos, and it'll take a lot longer, and they might get discouraged or start to disbelieve in it. So I think it's important that people, seek not professional help, but definitely professional guidance and in doing stuff like this.
I truly believe that. I know I did. Yoga Man Dwayne, that's where it started.
Yoga Man Dwayne.
And
what a name.
I'll forever call him Yoga Man Dwayne. His name is Dwayne. He owns a yoga studio in Mesa, Arizona.
Okay, nice.
He was one of the coolest people I ever met. And when I think about this man, I get chills because, I don't even know if he knows that he changed my life just with that one phrase. And he taught me to be a practitioner that people can talk to.
And what was that one phrase?
To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. And it's by Oscar Wilde.
I like that a lot.
Dude, I say it in everything. Like when I go out and do my self-love speaks, I always talk about Dwayne. I always talk about Yoga Man Dwayne and that one phrase, because it's changed my life. And my goal is to bring the community together, bring people together. That's why I like to do the larger breath work. And so when we finish up, then I give people the opportunity to talk about their experience. Because when we go through one of these sessions, you want to make sure that you give your client, give the participant time to release whatever comes up. Because when you're going through and doing these different breaths, you may have a moment where a memory comes up.
Right.
An emotion comes up. And what I tell people is that, I encourage you to feel into it, breathe into it, shake it out if you have to. But if someone chooses not to, one thing they can do is just change your breathing pattern.
It's crazy that something so small can have such a huge impact on one's body.
Oh, yeah.
So I see here that you wrote your own book. It's called Mindfulness for Beginners, a handbook for nurturing presence. This, just at first glance, this looks really, really well done. I like everything down to the detail of the fonts you picked. It's got a really inviting, calm kind of vibe to it just at first glance. So could you tell us a little bit about your new book?
Oh, yeah. So this is a mini book. This is straight to the point for mindfulness. And the reason why I did it that way is because I am someone that has challenges with ADHD, and it takes me a very long time to read something. So one of the very first books that I really fell in love with was called Who Moved My Cheese?
Oh, okay.
And it's a really quick and easy read. So I was like, wow, I want to do a book about mindfulness. I want to do a book to help people be mindful. Because one of the biggest misconceptions is that to be mindful, you need to do meditation.
Right.
Which is not true. You can actually be mindful in any act that you do. So as we have this conversation, mindful speaking, mindful listening, mindfully eating, which is one of my favorite.
Okay,
Let me tell you, I love a good meal.
Me too, girl. Me too.
And when you go into it, so I challenge everyone, whoever listens, I challenge you to eat one of your meals mindfully. So that's tapping into all of the senses. So what do you hear? What do you smell? What do you taste? How the sensations of the food as it goes into your stomach. Tapping into all of the senses.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things, though, is people say, well, what about my mind? My thoughts are everywhere. Well, guess what? Eastern culture taught us that you have 6 senses. And the 6th sense is your thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Your
One
mind.
of the most powerful, some may say.
Mm-hmm. Your mind is a part of it. And so in this book, it really breaks down just one of even the top things that I love is breaking down the body scan meditation, which is really going through and bringing your full awareness to each portion of your body, feeling the sensations. There is something about tapping in with your body that will change your life.
So, the one thing that's really been fascinating me with the breathwork aspect of it so far, which I guess in a sense it's well, duh, but I didn't think about it, is how readily accessible and available you can do it. As long as you're not in the middle of a speaking engagement, you have time to do this. You actually were telling me about a cool little trick you could do breathwork while smoking. Mm-hmm. So I was wondering if you could talk me through that.
Oh,
we'll give that a try with my Rove brand.
Oh, and by the way,
Rove cherry gelato.
Ooh, also too, you could do your breathing while you're speaking, and nobody would even notice.
Oh wow! See, look, learning stuff already. So there is literally no time unless you are underwater. You can, but I guess that's even a technical part of it.
Right.
Still holding your breath. So what do I got to do here? Just
Okay, so now we're going to do one of my favorite. It's the box breath.
The box breath.
So the box breath is equal all the way around. So 4, 4, 4, and 4. So as you inhale, you're going to inhale for 4.
Inhale for 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4.
I like that. I'm gonna start doing that. See if notice any differences. I can already tell you though, it's helping with me not coughing for some reason. Usually when I take a good old rip and it's been a couple hours since I've hit it, I'll get a little cough. But that's twice I've done this now and no cough. Big clouds, no cough. The Rove is that good, but I think there's something to this for sure.
I really believe that one thing that we as a Western culture, we're kind of new to it. It's, when it comes to breath work and when it comes to meditation, there are many people that have been practicing yoga and all of these different practices, but you have that experience where, like you said, people don't understand. So
Right.
they're skeptical, or they feel that it's woo woo and things like that, because you can experience many things. And one thing that I do like to tell people when they say, well, religious, because that's what I get hit with a lot. Like, even with my distant family that is here on the East, when I start to talk to them about, at first, when I started talking to them about meditation and Reiki, and they're like, oh, do you not believe in this or believe in that?
Right.
And I'm like, you realize meditation has been around for millennia, many a millennia, and also has been a part of many practices and religious beliefs, from Christianity to Hinduism to Buddhism,
Yeah, that's
all
a
the way
great point.
through.
One thing cool that I do want to do is something that the podcast here is going to do is one of our first ever giveaways that we are doing throughout the episodes coming up. The first one is going to start with you. We are going to buy a session from you, and we are going to give it away to one lucky follower. Anybody who watching this right now, you have a chance. So if what we talked about today sounds like something that you might be interested in, or sounds like it could be for you or someone else it's going to be very simple to win it. Just like, share, and I'll pick a winner. I might do 2, might do 3. I have a big heart. I always do the giveaways way too much. Like, I'm like, all right, I'll give away 2 things, 10 things later. It's so fun to see people receive something that they genuinely want and will really cherish. And I can't get enough of it. Especially as the store's growing, we might as well keep blessing. My biggest thing, and the owner as well, is we really want to put back into the community. That's why this podcast is really community based. We'll take any big guests we can get, but we definitely want small, big, community based leaders to be the voices of this community.
You know what? I would love it.
Well, you heard it, guys. Definitely check that out and be on the lookout for that session that we have up for grabs. Maybe 3, maybe 5, who knows. All right, guys, until next time, smoke me out.